Hey podcaster, I'm Tim Wahlberg, your podcast performance coach, with another actionable tip so you can grow your podcast authority, generate leads, and convert with ease. Today's tip is stop grossing out listeners with your mouth noises. Ew! Have you ever had someone eat really close to your ear? My brother and I used to torture each other by doing this to each other. It was gross. Some people have the most disgusting mouth noises, and some of those people are podcasters. On today's show, you're going to find out if you are one of those people, and more importantly, what you can do to cut down mouth noise on your podcast. According to a survey done at the University of York, about 71% of podcast listeners are listening using headphones. That means that your voice is right in their ears. And you know what else is? Your mouth noise. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about mic noise. Mic noise comes from misuse of the mic that leads to pops, sibilance, air, breathing, or bumping noises caused by touching your mic. Better mic technique solves that. Mouth noise, on the other hand, is exactly what it sounds like. Your mouth naturally makes noises. And most of the time, like in a conversation, when you don't have a microphone pointed at your mouth, it's not a big deal. And I want to give you some examples, but before I do, I need to apologize if you are wearing headphones. This might get a little cringy. The most mouth noise I hear is lip smacking, which usually follows a swallow. There it is. But sometimes it's wet lip smacking. Maybe too much saliva. And sometimes it's combined with a tongue click that gives you that 3D lip smack sort of thing. Are you still with me? And this is what my brother and I used to do to torture each other. Remember that? Right in your ears, about a half an inch away from your ear. This is so gross, right? I'm sorry for doing that if you're wearing headphones, but this is a real issue for a lot of podcasters. Sometimes it's caused by nervousness or performance anxiety, that whole dry mouth effect, if you've ever had that. And the reason I bring this up is because when you're listening with headphones on, all of these mouth noises get amplified so much that when they do, and your listener picks up on it, it's all they hear. They stop listening to the content and become obsessed with that noise. They create drinking games, and when you smack your lips, they drink. It's a whole thing. But you don't want that. Once, though, I launched a show with a client who only had mouth clicking issues during solo episodes. Everything else was great, from her mic technique to the tech and the sound quality, but that click was there, and it was in every sentence. It was so quiet. I knew we couldn't have her launching her show like this. And again, the weird part was that we didn't hear it in any of the interviews that we recorded. I put on my detective hat and we started to explore where it was coming from and how we could eliminate it without it being a confidence-killing distraction. I'll tell you what we did to fix it, but first, I want to address your mouth noise issue. Wait, do you even know that you have one or not? How are you going to find out? Okay, well, here's the one thing you need to do. Listen to your show with headphones on. Now, this is part of my ongoing advice. As I explained in episode 9, headphones are not optional. So if you haven't taken my advice before, take it now. Listen to your own show objectively, not as a fan of your own voice. Listen actively for those mouth noise sounds. Sorry, I should have warned you, but listen for what's happening behind or in between the words. If you do have a mouth noise issue, let's fix it. Now, there are some editing tools that might help you fix a minor issue in post-production, but my motto is shit in is shit out. And if you don't know that motto, listen to episode 20. But basically, you are always better to fix audio issues at the source. Make sure you fix it before it goes into your microphone. And in this case, the source is your mouth. Most mouth noise issues usually come down to hydration. Either you need a wetter mouth or a drier mouth. While lip smacking, you might need to practice keeping your mouth open a bit more as you talk. Keep it open. Smiling when you talk might help. Test it out. Jump on a mic and practice smiling or keeping your mouth open a little more as you talk. Re-record an old episode using the same method you would normally use and see if you get a cleaner, aka lip smack free read. Testing is really the key to correcting most mouth noise issues. The first thing to try is having a drier mouth. Hit record. Listen. If that doesn't fix it, drink some water. Hit record. Listen. If that doesn't work, try drinking something else. The more viscosity or something fizzy perhaps could make a big difference. Figure out your ideal mouth moisture and you'll most likely eliminate your mouth noise issues. Keep in mind that different liquids are going to have a different effect on your mouth noise. Tangy or fizzy drinks can cause extra salivation. Creamy things, including lattes, can cause moisture to stick around your mouth. Do more testing. Figure this out. Figure out what creates the ideal mouth environment and make it part of your recording routine. A radio colleague of mine brushed his teeth before he went on the air. He says it makes him feel mouth ready. Hey, whatever works. So this is what we did for our client. We got on a call and we tried a few things. It didn't take long to find out the answer. Turns out she needed a sip of wine before recording. Drinking wine got rid of 90% of the clicks after a few experiments we tried. Wine was the answer, but she can't drink every time she records, but we did realize that certain juices had a different viscosity and coated her mouth differently. Your fix may not be wine. Try another juice. This sometimes depends on how sweet or thick that juice is. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. When we think of your listener and the listener experience of your show, we always have to think about those distractions. What's pulling your listener away from your message? Dogs barking, kids playing, finger tapping, pen clicking, desk pounding, mouth noises. They are all distractions. Limiting mouth noise and other distractions keep your listener concentrating on your content rather than counting clickety clicks. And I hope that's just the tip you need. If you have a business and you're using podcasting to market that business, how you doing? How is that ROI or ROE, your return on effort? If you need to up your game, whether it's your performance, your interviewing skills, your content, your production, your reach, exposure, or growth, let's talk about your show, just you and me. The best part is it won't cost you a dime. Just sign up for a free podcast coaching call. Book your free podcast coaching call by using the link in the show notes or at podcastperformancecoach.com. I'm Tim Walberg. See ya!